My name's Judith Farmer, and I've been coming to the Octagon Unitarian Chapel for nearly 20 years. I will be 20 years coming here this year, and I'm a Unitarian by default. Nearly 20 years ago I was on my spiritual quest, I suppose, and I'd seen this chapel lit up at night, and I thought, well, that's a good place as any to start. And my plan was to go to the Quakers next, and then on round the main churches of Norwich. I live in Norwich in the centre. And I came here and I was profoundly moved that day. I think I wept quite a bit in the service, and I was made very welcome by someone that I knew vaguely from work. I was a mental health nurse at the time, and I met Betty Rathbone, who was a psychologist within the mental health services, and I knew her vaguely, and she made me very welcome. I came back the following week, and then my mother came to stay, and we came back the following week. Each time I came back, it reinforced that actually I felt very at home here.
I'm Katie McKenna. I'm a second year ministry student, and I lead worship here at the Octagon on average twice a month, which is a massive privilege. I've been a Unitarian about 13 years, I think. I first discovered Unitarians in the States, like quite a lot of other people do. Came home, and it took me 2 years to realise that there were Unitarians a lot nearer than that, actually about 10-15 minutes walk away from home. So I turned up one Sunday, loved what I found, and I haven't looked back since.
I'm Simon Rathbone, and I'm a Unitarian really for sort of hereditary reasons originally. My grandfather, grandparents were Unitarians, going back several generations in Liverpool. And so when I moved to Norwich, it was natural to come to the Octagon here. And I have brought my wife.
I married Simon, and with that I married into being a Unitarian. I was not brought up as a Unitarian, but I was brought up by a man who fitted Bernard Shaw's description of being a God-fearing atheist. He had no truck whatever with organised religion, particularly Anglican religion, because he was a great believer in that the world is one and everyone is primarily a world citizen. So I was brought up as a citizen of the world and to have a great feeling of responsibility. So I slotted quite neatly into the Unitarian ethos, and I also appreciated that Unitarians and the Rathbones do value the contribution of their women.
I'm Tori Zidlinska, and I'm a children's group leader here at the Octagon. And I initially started coming to the Octagon because I was a Unitarian with Birmingham New Meeting in Birmingham, and I came to the chapel. We actually went to Pride because it was the first year Norwich had Pride, and we went to Pride, met the Unitarians and walked with them, and then we didn't come back until the Easter afterwards. They thought they'd scared us away, but they hadn't. So I've been in Norwich for about 5 or 6 years, and I've been coming to the Octagon, and I'm really involved with the children's group. I started helping with them about 3 years ago.
Hello, my name is Sue Copeland Carter. I've been coming to the Octagon since 1995. I found Unitarianism when I was looking to get married to my first husband, who was Quaker Protestant. I come from a Jewish background, and we were looking in London for somewhere to have a religious wedding without it being either Jewish or Christian, and we're having problems. And then I read a magazine article by chance about religious weddings, non-specific ones, and it was written by Keith Gilley, who was minister of Golders Green Chapel at that time. So we went to a service, and I cried all the way through it, because all these things I'd believed for years suddenly had a name. Many years later, when we moved to Norwich, my oldest child was 2 at the time, we came to a service here and carried on coming along. We enjoy coming. It's, as my younger daughter who's 17 says it's her second family. And we just love coming here. It gives us something to think about, to enjoy the music, and yeah, I can't imagine not coming on a Sunday.
My name is Iris Vogelli, and I've been coming to the chapel since the 70s. At that time I had been, I belonged to another church, and I'd started to have serious thoughts about some of the creeds and tenets of that church. And so I suppose I was ready to look at something else, and looking into what Unitarians professed, what they were all about, seemed to me to be the right thing. Some of the things I had difficulty with were original sin, and salvation, life after death, and some of those things were quite rigid in the church that I belonged to about the way you should think. And coming to the Unitarian Church enabled me to feel happy about thinking for myself.
One of the important things to me was to move to somewhere where there is a Unitarian presence. That was really important to me. I didn't know how I'd find the Octagon, but I came here. I walked in on the first day and I was a bit taken aback because of the building and everything about it. But the more often I came, the more I felt it really is a community here. I feel that very, very strongly. For me, it doesn't matter what the person next to me believes if we can be alongside each other and if we can support each other.